Hey guys, Dino here, back with Dead Space 2, Part 13. So, I'm pretty excited about this next set of clips coming up because if you've watched any of the previous videos, I basically won't shut up about the stupid force gun, and the last 10 minutes or so I think of this clip, you finally get to see it in action and see what I've been raving about the whole time and kicking myself in the friggin' Sacagaweos for not using earlier, so excuse me. So let's see here. Once again, I am just off of night shift as usual. This time around, it's pretty cool. I got to observe a amputation last night. That was a lot of fun. Pretty messy, kind of like you'd expect, but it was pretty cool. Let's see. So I think somebody mentioned something in the comments about Left 4 Dead as far as being able to solo the expert campaign or something like that. I didn't, that's my fault. I didn't specify that I was talking about PvP. I think I've done most of the campaigns on expert. I can't remember if I have or not. I've done a fair amount of them as well without actually ever even being touched the entire time, so the campaigns I think are definitely another story. PvP is another animal altogether. It doesn't take quite the coordination that the campaigns do. I think the campaigns let you, I think you can die and pick up guys later on in the campaigns. I can't remember, it's actually been a while. So anyway, back to Dead Space here for a moment. This scene right here, after you go to the little clip with him yelling and being hit with a 2x4, it just throws you out here into that whatever the fuck amoeba-like creature is out there and starts spitting green or red gobs of piss. I don't know what it is. Jesus Christ, whatever. Anyway, it just thrusts you right out there, so just be prepared for that. I just happened to have the right gun and just started firing. I really couldn't tell what was going on at first. Like I said, kill those little red spermies that are firing at you, and then kill the big yellow globs themselves, big yellow testicles. Let's see, somebody else mentioned something about they were stuck. They've been stuck at the end of this game, running away from that gigantic, never-ending necromorph. And the solution is really just that, to run away. There's nothing you can do other than to kill him and then stasis him and run away. To be honest, for whatever reason, I remember having a lot more trouble with him my first time around. I don't think I had much trouble with him here. Definitely had that experience boost, which is, as I mentioned, extremely helpful. I really luck out here. For whatever reason, this corridor is narrow enough that those little jelly things that are on the ceiling floor, depending on how you look at it, they spit them, they don't actually hit you because it goes so far you don't get the splash damage. Kind of weird. I think I looked around, I don't remember, I thought I saw something in the window that I ran out and grabbed later, so do that before you run in here. There's a schematic on the outside for something. Anyway, the force gun actually whips his ass too. It whips anybody's ass actually, except for the bosses. So, I think you might see that in a later clip as well. There I go, just dodged another one of those accidentally. I think the only enemy that it did not kill, I think, was a boss, and I think I just stand toe to toe with him and blast him as many times as possible just to see what would happen, and I think he comes close to killing me. But anyway, and then as far as the League of Legends stuff, the League of Legends games can last quite a while. Part of why I've been holding off on those recently is not only because I've been involved quite a bit with clinicals, but actually I use cameras for my voiceovers, and my camera time doesn't last very long. So League of Legends games can go well beyond 40 minutes, which is basically my camera's time. easily into an hour. So I actually bought a new voice recorder and I've been waiting for that to get here. So as soon as that does, it should be any day now. Definitely launch into some more fun stuff. I was hoping to do it this weekend, but it might not get here until Monday, which would be kind of a shitty. So, let's see, what else did I want to talk about? Well, I guess go back to League of Legends real quick. League of Legends is more the reason why I've done anything with that at all. The whole reason is in the dorms at the moment right now, and shifting out of those. So going from abysmal shithouse internet, oh, that was a nice shot, to lightning fast internet here in a couple weeks. And League of Legends is basically a game for people to play on their computers that have, you know, the power of a modified Cracker Jack box and running 56K. You can still do really well. So that's why I've been doing a little League of Legends. It's nothing. I don't, you know, in a couple weeks I don't think I'll probably ever play it again. I really don't find that much enjoyment in it, to be honest. I know it kind of sounds terrible. It's just been something to kind of mess around with. As I'm sure many of you noticed, I'm absolutely abysmal at it, and I don't really plan on ever taking it to a competitive point. I always wanted to elaborate on that too. It's actually one of the differences between XCal and I, is he's pretty good at just about everything he picks up, regardless of whether or not he's really into it. That's something I really haven't been able to figure out. So, I don't know if you guys saw what just happened there. So this is why every one of these guys needs to just be decimated from range, and the whole idea of running in to finish them off and stomping on their heads is no longer a possibility, because what you saw, they're spitting out fucking acid and all that other bullshit. So you're damaging yourself when you're running in there. It's actually really frustrating and annoying that your melee attacks have lost their basic capabilities at this point in the game, but definitely something to make a note of. Just don't bother. Destroy them from long range. Anyway, like I was saying, so I can't figure out if he's really into everything he plays, or if he's just I mean, I know that compared to myself, he's able to spend much more time than I am with just about everything, which definitely gives him an edge. But in general, I think he just does really well with stuff, regardless. And as far as video games go, I don't reach this godlike level, ascend to supernatural abilities, unless I really, really, really love something. And that's why I've been so excited about this whole YouTube stuff, is because it's kind of, I don't want to say it's reinvigorated me, but it gives me a reason to wanna play hard. And I think when I can pick up a next great shooter here, whatever it happens to be, something, I just will be absolutely ecstatic about that. So, and yeah, I really, 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 really want to show people what it's like to, I don't know, what amazing gameplay looks like. I feel like games are the one thing that have the ability to be insanely good at, and I just cannot wait to share that with people, because, no, don't forget to stomp his head for the audio log. Because when I like something and I feel like when I like something, I don't know, I really, really excel at it. And I don't think it's really that much different from just about any other sport or activity. I know, like, when I was a little younger and followed basketball a lot more, I remember hearing a lot of the greats, you know, Michael Jordan, always talk about how one of his biggest challenges was simply trying to stay at the top of his game year after year after winning championship after championship after championship. I think a lot of the fun and the challenge comes from basically getting to the top, and that's where you push yourself so hard. You know, that's why I think it's not huge into most sports besides UFC, but you know, they always talk about the younger guys being hungry and they want it so bad. That's why people like college ball over pro ball, because, you know, the college guys are willing to do anything, do whatever it takes to get to the top. And once you are at the top and you don't feel like you have much left to prove, it's, I guess, at least in my experience, it's harder to keep that A game. And that's why I've been pumped about the YouTube thing, is because I feel like I have thousands of people who have no idea how good I am, and I want to prove it to everybody, not just show them, but prove it. And so I'm really looking forward to getting an opportunity to do that. That was actually a little thing I wanted to talk about too, is just with winning all those championships that we did, it was a strange feeling. It was more or less just like I've been talking about. You know, you've been fighting to prove that you're the best, and then, you know, it started off in Battlefield, and I kept getting, you know, going from a shitty team to a slightly less shitty team to a decent team to a good team to a great team to the best team to my own team. Just for a moment, this is the Force gun. It's insanely overpowered. You can't be touched. You can't be stopped. There's no aiming involved. Oh, and one of the perks to using it as well, those short fucking goblin little guys that drag that big yellow testicle behind them, if you shoot them with this, it does not blow up that yellow testicle. It only kills them, and it leaves the yellow testicle behind. I don't know if that was intended or not, but that's what it does, and it is so useful. So, as you can see, I think he takes somewhere around 6 plasma cutter rounds, maybe 7. Takes 1 to 2 force gun rounds. This gun is just absolutely brilliant. Oh god, yeah. It's stupid. If these guys were, yeah, I mean, if they were dropping and you were using the plasma cutter, I mean, you'd be putting 12 rounds out, and there's, oh god, that's just awesome. If that doesn't give you a boner, nothing will. Anyway, so, kind of what I was saying earlier, winning those championships, I feel like was really cool, and at the same time kind of shitty, because I played so hard, fought so hard to prove that I was, you know, among the best, and then, you know, winning championships, especially like going to Battlefield Vietnam and winning like back-to-back undefeated championships. You know, it's really strange. You're like, okay, well, I guess now we're the best, and what's the point? You know what I mean? Why bother continuing to rub the same guys' faces in the ground every single, you know, other day in a match that we're the best? Like, they know it, I know it. What's the point? And you know, that's part of the reason I think why I've almost, well, I don't want to give up on being the best, because it's a really enjoyable spot to be there, or just to prove it, and not to be it, to prove that you are. But at the same time, I feel like because I've accomplished so much, like within competitive gaming, that I've kind of moved on to wanting to do other things, and that's part of the goal of starting up this YouTube thing, is both, to a lesser extent, to, you know, I feel like I've never captured on film or video, whatever, some of these, you know, these moments where I just feel like I just, yeah, the play is just spectacular, and, you know, you get in the zone and it's just, you know, retard amazing. I would give anything to go back in time, be able to record some of that stuff, so I could just watch it over myself. You know, it's just when you get so into it, you flick a switch on, and you know, you're just not even thinking, you're just doing, and it's an amazing feeling. I love being there. And like I said a few times before, I'm really looking forward to going there again. I just need a game that pushes me to get there, and YouTube is already an amazing incentive to even play hard. And once I get I think a decent game to sink my teeth into, I'm just gonna go bananas. So anyway, so like I said, so now I kind of want to do a few different things, and part of that is making you know, the whole idea of possibly educating gamers, making them more aware of, like I said, you know, what makes a video game good, why is a video game not good, why is it important to like know this at all in the first place, like why do we care, and you know, for me, the reason why I care is because I love them, and I feel like I haven't had anything to sink my teeth into for a few years for a variety of reasons. School was definitely up there, but you know, even assuming best case scenario, you know, whatever, play the lottery, retired, like I wouldn't have any desire to sit at home and do COD. It just doesn't do it for me. I think after you play a Conquest style video game and you bring in that new dynamic and that new dimension of Conquest based team play, going back to more of a traditional team deathmatch shooter is, you know, it's like the choice between steak or fucking peanut butter and jelly. You know, not to insult anybody who loves peanut butter and jelly or anything. There's just no real comparison. So, yeah, it's just a whole nother ball game. It's not just about the kills anymore. It's about the tactics and, you know, utilizing your team's, you know, figuring out not what's best, not only for yourself, to a team, but to a lesser extent, it's just like I said, it's that tactical edge, that tactical dimension that's just simply not there in TDM. And then you don't have to deal with all the bullshit campers or mushrooms or whatever the hell you call them. And then, you know, on a competitive level, it is just the most fun thing. And, well, I shouldn't say that. Actually, I'm going to totally reverse that. Competitive level, it can be an awesome experience to go in there and just dominate some other guys hard, right? Like, that's a really amazing feeling to go in there and be like, wow, we are 1,000 times better than you are. There's no hope. Just uninstall the video game. You have no chance of ever beating us. Like, that's a good feeling. But at the same time, I think the most fun I've ever had playing video games was not the matches themselves. And, you know, we used to joke about it all the time, but especially like in the second season of Battlefield Vietnam, when we hadn't been beat, and I don't remember how many games, you know, the matches and the practices and the scrims felt more like work as opposed to something we looked forward to. And the stuff that was the most fun out of everything was pubbing with your friends. And it's almost ironic because I think part of what made us the best team out there was because so many of us pub together so often, and we developed this cohesive unity, and we were able to do all sorts of things that other teams would ask us, you know, like, why or how do you able to coordinate your attacks and things like that? How do you respond and adapt and do all this shit? And, you know, we didn't have a mastermind behind it. You know, Gink the Twink, I mean, technically, I think is the go-to guy, supposedly, but, you know, I think he's the guy that, you know, started the 20 ID thing back in the day, but, you know, he sat back on mortar duty. He wasn't allowed to do anything else because we deemed him not good enough to. What ended up happening is there was no one 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 guy calling the shots, it was 10 guys all reacting individually to and doing whatever was needed, and on top of that acting selflessly as well. So it's you just can't, you couldn't beat it. You know, it didn't hurt too that those 10 guys were arguably the most skilled in the entire game. Tens of thousands of players, hundreds of thousands, whatever. You know, they were arguably up there at the top as well. You couldn't get 10 guys. You know, if you had 10 guys who were, you know, average, it wouldn't have worked either. But so it was a combination of the two. But it was really, really cool to see. But like I said, I think the reason why we were able to play and do so well was because we played together so often, pubbing, and there was nothing more fun than going into pubs and just stomping them into the ground as well. And, you know, getting 3, 4, 5 of your best buddies to just go in there and, yeah, I don't know, I just absolutely crush them and demolish them and continually get accused of hacking. I mean, that's fantastic. I mean, what an ego booster to be accused of, you know, all shapes and sorts of hacks constantly. You know, being told that you use phantom hacks, radar hacks, wall hacks, hacks you never even knew existed. Most of the hacks, I don't even know what the hell they're talking about half the time. But according to them, I'm using them. We actually, I remember playing 42, there were some guys that got banned for doing some hacking, and you know, obviously we ended up bumping into them, and we asked them like what hacks it was that they were using, and they were some radar hacks or something like that. But we actually played like a 5v5 infantry match or something against them and absolutely demolished them, even though they were hacking, because with a game like Battlefield 42, you know, unless your hack gave you God mode or something like that, there's no hack that gives you superior situational awareness and intelligence. Like, even though they could see through walls or see us on radar or wherever the hell it was, it didn't matter, because even with the 5 of us playing some sort of goofy 5v5 bullshit, like, we still worked together and had superior skills and strategy, and even with hacks, it didn't matter. So really, really, really fascinating. To go back to Dead Space here for a minute, this is really the Force gun at its finest. I can't imagine doing this particular scene in the game without it. So, when you're doing this, there's a ton of supplies in there. I think I've probably missed quite a few. Like right over here on the side, you can snag. I'm actually full on med kits. That's crazy. You can dodge these if you're wasting ammo to shoot them. It really doesn't matter. I mean, they're not expecting you to. Good lord, look at the range on that bad boy. They're not expecting you to have a force gun. I don't know, because if you have it, it totally trivializes this entire scene. Yep, ridiculous. Nothing they can do. Not even when they attack you unfairly from behind, where it looks like no one should be able to get to. You know, one of the things that I think makes anybody good in gaming, anybody good at anything, is, like I said, to somewhat repeat myself, is how much you want it. And if you want it more than anybody in the entire world, you will be the best. Like, that's pretty much it. know, those guys that want to be the best are out doing all sorts of shit that nobody else is, playing around, making sure they know the maps, making sure they know the guns. Anyway, they are going to be the best. So I was picking up that red tank, and I think something shot it. I don't really know what happened. Oh god, just got, look at that. Long range, short range. Just too good. Anyway, yeah, so if you wanted, you know, if you go out and do the, I would say it's not work if you really want it, but that drive to be the best is what makes you be the best. I've always said that it's not that I'm good, it's that everybody else isn't, which seems kind of silly. But that's what it feels like in general, is that I'm not necessarily out skilling people, I'm just out wanting them. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's obvious when you're playing somebody and they want it really bad. And most people don't play like they want it really bad for some of the reasons we talked about yesterday. The majority of people who play games are casual. It makes sense that somebody who, you know, defines fun as winning, that they would beat them. Just, I don't know, it's basic math. I think I mentioned a little bit before, not really sure, but I don't think, well, skills to me in a video game, the people, I don't know, there's very few guys, you know, that are, well, I don't know, maybe with the exception of a sniper rifle here and there, but for the most part, like, the best way to guarantee your victory over somebody else is to outthink them, as opposed to, like, out-skilling them. It always bugs me when I hear, you know, people say they don't like FPS games or something because some, you know, then they blame it on, like, young kids too, and ridiculous how some young kid is out twitching them or faster reaction speeds, and I've already talked about a lot of that stuff on my website, how that's stupid, it doesn't add up. You know, the research is there in the first place, but, like, nobody is out twitching you at anything. If anything, they're out thinking you, but it's, yeah, you don't have to aim if you shoot somebody in the fucking back, and that's the best way to do it. So, and that's why I think the Conquest is great, because, like I said, it's more about the tactics, less about spawning in instantly, frag X3, you know, whatever. So that's pretty much it. That's the end of part 13, and I think, as you saw, we just started on chapter 13, so I think about another 2 parts and we'll end this, and whoever was stuck on the last guy can see what you do, which is pretty much just run away. So stay tuned for more.